I've been getting some questions about acne, what causes it, and what are some things that can be done to improve the situation. So in this video I'm going to present some strategies and some insight into the situation, and I'll be coming from a paradigm that's pretty heavily influenced by more of the traditional Chinese way of seeing things. So the skin, the health of our skin, and the beauty of our skin is related to and associated with the functioning of our lungs, which is also associated with our large intestine. So issues with either of those organs can manifest on the skin. And just along that train of thought, the taste that is associated with these organs is the spicy taste, which that might sound kind of weird, but if you think about it, when you eat something spicy, what happens? You start to kind of sweat, you start to kind of breathe deeply, and then as a side effect, some people kind of get diarrhea, or they have to go to the bathroom because their large intestine gets stimulated. So you can see based on that, these associations, how the taste is related to those organs, and an element associated with that is metal. And it's a little different than the understanding that we have in the West, but I won't get into that in this video just because it's kind of outside of the scope. So the first thing that could be the cause of acne in this paradigm could be any kind of blockage or just dirt or buildup in the large intestine. So things like anything that's clean the colon, clean the large intestine could be a good thing, whether that's colonics or saltwater flushes or probiotics, fermented foods, kefir, kombucha, yogurt, sauerkrauts. All of these things would be recommended dietary strategies to help to clean the large intestine, which would in turn help to remedy the situation. So that's one thing to look at: cleaning the colon, building up the colon. Also, things like yoga and things, exercises that strengthen the core would also strengthen the colon and balance it out and get it out of a prolapse situation or a collapse situation. That could also be something good to look at. Also, on that train of thought, strengthening the lungs through breathing exercises, through yoga, through anything like that, whether that's herbs or exercise, would be a good thing. And I'll get into some herbs and more foods and supplements in just a little bit. Also, more on the emotional side of what could be the cause. So, like feelings of not feeling good enough, or not feeling like pretty enough, or just having like low self-esteem. Those things can manifest on the skin. Also, emotions like depression and sadness, those are associated with the lungs and can weigh on the lungs and can really depress the functions of the lungs, which influence the large intestine, which influence the skin. And you can see that it might sound a little like weird that those emotions are associated with the lungs, but if you think about what's the posture of someone who's depressed, it's always collapsed chest, collapsed shoulders, collapsed heart area, which is obviously showing you that sadness and depression automatically do this, which is showing that the lungs are weakened. But once the chest opens up and the heart opens up and the shoulder comes back, the shoulders come back, people just naturally start to feel more confident and more just have higher self-esteem and feel better. So that's one thing to look at, is look at that emotional aspect. Also, on that same thought, being overly emotional, so overly sensitive to movies or TV or just situations or people, that can be another thing, and that will, strengthening the lungs, strengthening the breathing will help that as well, just because those things are associated more with the liver, and in this system, the lungs can kind of check the liver if they're getting out of balance, which might sound weird, which the liver, associates the nerves and the emotions, which, breathing, if you just breathe deeply, you automatically feel more relaxed and feel more calm, and your nervous system relaxes. So you can kind of see the correlation how the lungs can, influence and control the functions of the liver. So that's, some of the philosophical reasons, and then the emotional aspects. And the last thing I would look at would be perhaps the strength of the sexual glands, the reproductive glands, which is also correlated with the hormones. So if there's hormonal issues, that can be obviously a cause or an influence. And then if the sexual glands are weak or understimulated or overstimulated, that can also be a cause, because the kidneys are generating the water and the moisture of the body. So if there's an imbalance, whether excess or deficiency, can clue us in that there's something going on with the kidneys, something going on with the sexual organs, and also the hormones. So that's a little bit of the reasons why. Now, some things to do would be, obviously, like I said before, clean the large intestine, whether that's colonics, saltwater flush, massage, yoga, abdominal lifts, fermented foods, bulking up foods like chia or Irish moss or slippery elm that can bulk up and cleanse the intestine. Things like MSM, those would all be excellent options. And then some herbs like reishi and cordyceps, which strengthen the lungs, strengthen the emotions, but also can help to strengthen the kidneys and to strengthen the sexual functions and help to check that. Can also help to just kind of purify the blood, clean the skin, and also stimulate and balance the immune system, which if there's any kind of viral or autoimmune or candida situation going on, which that could be somewhere mixed up in the situation, these mushrooms, these herbs can help out with that as well. But just as an overall daily dietary strategy, adding in fermented foods, which can only help, can only improve everyone's health, in my opinion, and really just help, with overall digestion and health and energy and all those things. So maca, if I didn't say that before, maca would be another good option because it has, hormone regulating, hormone balancing, endocrine system modulating properties, and the dosage on that would be 3 to 6 tablespoons per day of just the whole powder. If you have an extract, you can obviously take less, but just taking a teaspoon or a tablespoon per day of maca, probably not going to notice that much of a difference. But if you start doing 3 to 6 tablespoons over a period of time, you'll really start to feel it. Maybe that might be too high, so 2 to 4 would be a good dosage, but that's what you need to do to really feel it. And that'll also strengthen the sexual function, strengthen the lungs, and strengthen up or balance the endocrine system as well. So that's my thoughts on acne and the causes, some of the philosophy, some of the things to look at, and some things to try out, some things to strategies to apply to hopefully improve the situation. So hopefully that's been helpful. If you have any questions, post them below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, definitely do so, and I'll talk to you soon.